There's a lot of good workshop maps on the CS2 workshop, but I want to show you guys which ones give you that god aim that every pro player has. There is a couple good workshop maps in this list that I'm going to show you and what they have to offer, so you know exactly what you're going to get when you watch this video. And we're actually going to start off with this map called Aim Tran. Now, Aim Tran is one of my go-to workshop maps if you guys do watch my stream on Twitch, and it is probably the best for warming up that muscle memory and the micro flicks. As you can see, when you load into the map, there's just a little dot that you can flick to, but one of my favorite things to do in this map is first off, I do change the background to make it black, and then I like to make the target white. And then I put 5 targets right here on the screen, and I like to just sit here and switch between these targets. This is so good when, maybe you wake up in the morning, maybe your wrist is feeling a little tight or there's some tension. This is very, very good to do if you want to work on those micro flicks, or if you're just simply warming up your wrist, or maybe if you're using more of your arm, you can definitely do that as well. But one cool thing about this workshop map is that there is another level that you can do where you can actually do it in a 360 style. So as you can see, if I shoot all those targets, there's a lot of the smaller circle targets that are spawning all around me. So if you're someone that wants to practice some high intense situations where you're practicing your 180s, or maybe just turning 90 degrees, this is definitely a good map for you. But there's also another cool thing where if I want to have the targets just 90 degrees in front of me, I can actually turn on moving targets. I can make them vertical, I can make them horizontal. I'm someone that likes to go with vertical, and then I can pretty much just adjust the speed. So if I start shooting these targets, I actually want to make them horizontal, you'll see that I can actually practice tracking in this map. And I think that's very important because there's not many good tracking maps out there at the moment. So this is a good map if you are struggling, especially struggling on pistol round where you're using a USP and you have to track these guys running with their Glocks. This is definitely a good go-to map for a warm-up, and this is pretty much all you need in a warm-up. Now, there is a lot more maps out there that I'm going to show, but if you're looking for just a nice, simple map that you can hop on for 10 to 15 minutes, just warm up before your games, this is definitely the map that is tailored towards you. Before we get into the next map, let's hear a word from our sponsor of this video. Today's sponsor is SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is a CS2 skins trading site and marketplace that provides an instant way to get new skins. My favorite thing about SkinsMonkey is that I can trade skins that I no longer want and trade it for a skin that is equal value. If you use code LouisCS2, you get a $5 bonus on your first trade. If you want to buy skins, you can get a 30% deposit bonus plus an extra 5% using my code. The link is down in the description. So after you guys got some cool skins like I have in my inventory right here, let's talk about the next map, which is Fast Aim Reflex. Now, Fast Aim Reflex is a very cool map that, again, pretty much works on tracking. As you can see, when you spawn in here, there's going to be a lot of bots just running around in circles, and it's just going to practice under an intense situation of these bots running at you, and your goal is to make sure that they don't fall into the middle. Now, this is very good, again, kind of like the second level of the Aim Tran map, where you're practicing those 180s, and you're practicing switching to targets. You can pretty much use, a USP if you want, or a P2K. Some of these guys will spawn without head armor, and there's a setting for that as well. But you could also practice spraying to moving targets. Maybe you're getting rushed down and you want to, switch to 2 different targets like this. It's definitely a good drill to do. This is one of my favorite maps to play on if I notice I am in a slump, or maybe my crosshair placement is a little bad, because you're pretty much not moving your crosshair at all when you're doing this. So if you're someone that struggles with crosshair placement and you don't want the, normal aimbots map where you're just shooting stationary bots for most of the time, this is definitely a good map for you. You can really practice that anchor point on your mouse. Now, one thing that a lot of pros do on this map is they like to go to one of the corners like this, and they like to just strafe around and shoot these bots. They're just running at them. I think this is another good thing you can do in this map. There's a lot of cool options and variants that you can do where you can practice just, again, shooting bots running at you. This is a very simple map, and it's a very good beginner map as well, maybe if you're new to mouse and keyboard. But like I said, there's so many things that you can do where you can practice spray transfers. You can practice just strafing after every kill if you are maybe struggling with your movement, because when you are in the center, you're not being able to strafe like this. So this is definitely something good. And again, this is just another simple warm-up map that you guys could put into your warm-up routine. If you're someone that doesn't just like shooting targets and you like to move around a little bit, maybe you notice your movement is bad when you get on the game, this is definitely a good map for you. It's also a very good map, like I said earlier, to just practice that crosshair placement, because I'm not having to, move around to different targets on my screen. I'm not having to flick up and down. So if you are someone that wants to get really good at pre-gaming angles or just get, that good muscle memory of where your crosshair is on that head level, this is definitely the map for you guys, and I really recommend that you guys try it out. So the next map that we're going to dive into is the fast warm-up, which again, if you guys watch my stream on Twitch, you'll know that this is one of my go-to warm-up maps. So this map here has a lot to offer in a more fundamental sense. As you can see, when you spawn in, you're going to be greeted with all these bots. Now, what this does is it's pretty much just bots running out of corners, and they're moving around a little bit where you can just practice your strafing, practice, vertical flicks, horizontal flicks. You can even practice sprays if you want. It's a really cool map to just kind of chill on when you get on the game, because I would almost say that this is close to in-game situation where bots are coming out and peeking you. They're jumping around, they're trying not to get hit. This is just something where you can just warm up and chill. Maybe if you like to talk with friends in Discord. One thing that I do on my stream, you guys know that I usually warm up on the Aim Trinity map, and then I come to this one to just kind of chill around, shoot some bots that are trying to run out me. Now, this map does offer some cool features where if you do want like a custom knife, that is something that it does offer. And I know a lot of people are kind of into that, which is pretty cool. But other than this little, aimbot type deal over here, there is the normal aimbots where you're just strafing around, shooting these bots, doing whatever you need to do. And then also you have your, your speed, headshot only. You can lower the bots, make them move just a little bit. So there is some really cool features on this map. I prefer this one over the aimbots map just because of the function that is on the other side of this wall. And there also is a KZ part of this map, which I don't really use because it is a little bit glitchy at the moment. But if you are someone that likes to warm up with movement, this is almost an all-in-one map that you guys can use. And I do highly recommend it if you want pretty much a different way to warm up, because this will give you some pretty good aim when you are warming up, because you can start over here with the aim bots, practice your crosshair placement, practice your counter strafing, and then you can come over here to apply it over in this arena if you want. You can also, like I said, practice your spraying. This is kind of a all-in-one warm-up map if you know how to use it and take advantage of what it's offering. But this next map that I'm going to show you guys is definitely one that you want to download, and it'll probably be your go-to warm-up map. So this map right here is the 5v Aim Hub. Now this has a lot to offer for a workshop map, and it's definitely going to be your guys' favorites, and I did save the best for last. So when you spawn in, you're going to be greeted with obviously the stereotypical aim bots, where you're just kind of, shooting bots around the map, doing whatever you need to do. But what's really cool about this is that there is a nice little pretty much customization for your HUD, your crosshair, your view model, everything you need that pretty much uses the console. You can do it right here. So if you are newer to the game, you can change the color of your HUD at the bottom. You can turn the crosshair if it shows an enemy or not, follow recoil, your view model, and it also has a bunch of other pro crosshairs. Now, that's not the only thing that this map offers, but it does give you that ability to pretty much customize and test what you are trying out right here. There is a lot of different options, which I will go through pretty quickly. They do have the peak training, which is one of my favorites, where you pretty much spawn on this platform, you hit the start button, it'll tell you which side to peek, and you just want to peek out and kill these bots. This is something good, like I've said earlier in my other workshop maps that I've showed. If you struggle with movement and crosshair placement, this is definitely a good part of the warm-up that you guys should be using and taking advantage of, because you're practicing, your taps. You can practice your spraying when you're peeking out, but ultimately you're practicing that counter strafing and your crosshair placement. Now, moving on from peak, we also have reflex. Now, this is just a simple reaction test where if I sit here, I can just see what my reaction test is at the start of the day, or maybe if I'm trying to improve it. That is a cool little test that you guys can run through. Now, there's also their sound test where I'm not going to show it, but obviously you just click start and you shoot where the closest sound is, which I think is really, really cool. Then once you're done with that, if you guys are interested in that, there's also the recoil where you can pretty much just practice your recoil for the day, see what we're at, and really understand the fundamentals of the recoil. This also goes in with having some god aim, where if you want to really get good at aiming, you obviously need some good recoil. As you can see, I missed 6 targets, which obviously isn't good enough. But some other features they have is the hold training as well. If you're an opper or a scouter, you can practice just holding these angles, which I think is really good to take advantage of, because there is some times where you want to pick up an op in your games, and if you notice that your reaction time's a little slow like I was there, this is definitely a good map that you can practice on. And then other than that, you have the aim training. Now, this is just like the aim trainee map. Like I said, this is your all-in-one and probably going to be your favorite map to try. But you can click start here and choose whatever size targets you want. It's going to give you a little countdown, and you're going to have a minute to shoot these targets. This is a really good warm-up, just like I said in the first map that I showed. That really just gets the wrist loose, or maybe if you're an arm aimer, you're getting that muscle memory down, and you're just shooting these targets to get warmed up. You can even back up a little bit if you want to make it a little bit smaller so you're not flicking as far if you think that this little board is a little too big for your liking. But this is pretty much the standard of the map. There's a lot of cool options that you guys can try, and I think it does have a lot of cool features that you guys can use. So if you guys did like the video, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel, and comment down below if there's any workshop maps you think I missed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.